All right, so most sellers think that they are selling to everyone. And here's the problem with that. I worked with one of my clients, Diana, inside my accelerator program. And when I first sat down with her on our kickoff call and looked at her shop, I was like, who's your customer? Who are you selling to? And she's like, that's why I'm here. I've almost been running my business for a year, and I have been guilty of just posting trends because I see other sales happening in other businesses when I do competitor analysis, but I am sick and tired of just getting sales here and there. When I looked at her shop, I did notice that she was sitting on a gold mine. I was like, you actually have a niche here that you're designing really strong for. And in addition, that niche is always really profitable. She was absolutely dumbfounded. She was like, really? I didn't even know that that was still going to be popular. She's like, that's great because I love that niche. It's my whole aesthetic. I have it in my home. And I was like, this is perfect because what we're going to do is align your zone of genius and what you have an eye for design for. And we're actually going to blow out your whole business where you're targeting this avatar. And once she was able to do that, and had crystal clear vision on who she was selling to and what motivates them to buy, her sales changed dramatically. In about 5 months, she had a 10K month. In 7 months, she had a 16K month. And when we first started, she was struggling just to make about $140 per month. So if this seems oddly familiar to you, that's okay. We just need to give you clarity on exactly who your target avatar is so that you can start being crystal clear with your offers and your marketing so that you can attract them to your shop. If you have been challenged with not being able to really focus in on your avatar because maybe you've been chasing trends online, then head below in the description. I have an AI avatar matcher. You're going to be able to quickly input some information, and in minutes, you're going to have clarity on who your target avatar is, what motivates them to buy, and what are their purchasing behavior. So, moving right along, let's get into this framework that really transformed my client shop from struggling to make sales to hitting a 16K sales month, which actually led to the trajectory of her retiring early. So when I first sit down with a lot of sellers like Diana, they typically come to me and they're like, you know what? I think I have a traffic problem, or maybe my pricing is too high, and that's why I'm not making any sales. But a lot of the time, it's because they don't have a clear target avatar, because they're not communicating clearly with their offers that are resonating strongly with an audience. When people come by, they're like, oh, that's nice. But then when they see the other things, they're like, wait a minute, I'm confused. Maybe this person isn't really the expert in creating these types of offers. And then they start doubting everything about your shop. So we don't want that to happen to you. And one of the most common misconceptions that I get from a lot of clients, or dare I say some pushback, is when I say, okay, we need to kind of clean up your shop and really think about who you're trying to attract so that they can feel like your shop is built for them. And then it builds trust and they start resonating with a lot of your offers and then add multiple things to the cart. So, one of the first things we need to do to change the trajectory of your shop is to really do an audit. So, we need to look for profitable patterns. We need to look for where people are buying the most. And I always say, follow the money and then reverse engineer it. So that's exactly what we did in Diana's shop. One of the things I always get pushback from on clients is when I say, great, we found the profitable pattern. Now we need to clean up the shop and get rid of the offers that are actually hurting you from converting. And they're like, well, wait a minute. I don't want to get rid of those offers because they're drawing in people. I'm getting traffic. And I'm like, yeah, but you're getting the wrong traffic, and none of that traffic is actually converting. So it's hurting your conversion rate. An algorithm doesn't want to see that they brought you a lot of hot buyers or leads, and then you weren't able to convert them into an actual sale, because then the algorithm's going to say, oh, this customer doesn't really like these products or what this shop has to offer. When this customer searches, we're going to make sure that we don't recommend this shop again because it's not a good fit. It's not a good match. And it's actually costing us money because we're setting a qualified hot lead who's ready to purchase, but the products aren't resonating and not selling. So it's important to keep in mind here that you're not keeping track of vanity metrics. You're keeping track of what is actually producing a profit. So, for example, when we changed Diana's shop, she was like, oh my goodness, my traffic dropped. I'm like, yeah, and it will. And that's okay because remember, the traffic that you were bringing into this shop wasn't buying, it wasn't converting, it was actually hurting you. And she's like, okay, I'm going to trust the process. And I get it. When you see those numbers drop, you're going to go into panic mode. But you have to remember that traffic wasn't generating you sales. So when we got crystal clear on who her avatar was, the offer she was going to create that spoke to their emotional triggers, the logic behind their buying, and what ultimately got them to buy, she saw that she was able to actually sell more and really scale her revenue in her business with less traffic. And that's exactly why inside my accelerator with my clients, we use my framework because it provides the structure and the focus that a lot of creatives struggle with, but it also lets them create without putting them in a box. So let's break this down. So the framework is simple. It's optimize, attract and connect, convert, retain, and then automate with AI. Now, here's where a lot of sellers get it wrong. They want to skip right to conversion and sales, and then they don't optimize the foundations of their business. And what ends up happening is they make no sales because you have to focus on attracting the right customer, then positioning the right offers that actually persuade them to buy from you. And this is where that AI avatar tool really comes in handy. It's going to connect you with your ideal customer. It's going to give you their deepest pain points, what they shop for, what they desire, want, need out of a offer, a product and or service solution. And it's really going to help you attract them into your shop by also giving you some quick content topics that you could be making content for. Because when your marketing speaks directly to your ideal client, that's when sales become predictable and sustainable. So if you feel like you have a lot of offers in your shop and it's actually spreading you out really thin because one day you're creating assets for one avatar or one trend, and the next day you're creating assets, images, copywriting, keyword strategies, etc. for a whole other avatar that's interested in something completely different. I'm going to give you 3 steps to really focus you in on your ideal profitable customer so that you can get off this hamster wheel of always starting over from scratch with your marketing and with your offers. So number 1, stop guessing who your buyer is. What you really want to focus on is your zone of genius and where you like to serve, and then really focus on an avatar that would buy into your offers because you are the expert in selling those things. Number 2, use data and psychology, like their consumer habits, to actually target them, not demographics. In the real world, people don't really buy because, they're 25 years old and like pumpkin lattes from Starbucks. They buy because your offers resonate with them. And when they see that it's a good fit for some kind of void, gap, something they want, need, desire that they currently don't have, that's when they buy. Number 3, focus your messaging, content, and offers around one avatar and get to know them well. Become obsessed with them, and they'll become obsessed with you and your brand. And this is what separates stagnant sellers from sellers that scale. Why? Because when somebody feels seen and heard by your brand, and when they visit your shop, and see that all the offers resonate strongly with them, they can visualize them in their lifestyle, the products basically sell themselves. We're not in the business of convincing people to buy from you. We're in the business of connecting your offers to their consumer psychology, which triggers dopamine in their brain and gets them to buy now. Remember my client, Diana? She's not a magical unicorn. She stopped marketing to everyone and really focused in on that ideal customer that she could serve with her passion, with her knowledge, so that she wasn't serving everyone and burning herself out. Once she focused in on her target avatar, she had clarity, confidence, and consistent sales. If you want that kind of growth for your business, then head down below and make sure you use the AI avatar tool. And while you're down there, be sure to drop a comment below on what your biggest aha or takeaway moment was in this video, because that is my love language. And also,